Well, hello, it's Jeanie, and it is day 12 of the money game. And today we are reaching a $12,000 deposit in our virtual account. And I have a powerful, wonderful, fun segment for you today. So we're just going to dive right in. As of today, beginning with day one, we have now flowed $78,000 into our virtual bank account. And a lot of people don't make $78,000 in a year. So $78,000 is quite a bit of money. But I want to talk with you about several things. One is about feelings, and one is about beliefs, because we have these feelings around money and around life in general. And the feelings are a direct result of the beliefs that we were taught. And I got to tell you, we didn't come into this world with beliefs being stamped on the bottom of our foot. We learned them. We learned them from our family. We learned them from our neighbors. We learned them from school, from churches, and from all sorts of people. And we took it on. So today I've got some really exciting uh, things to tell you. Some people have been telling me I have 4 testimonies that are just awesome. One is a woman who is in New Zealand. And she wrote to me yesterday and she said, "Oh my gosh," she said, "I found out that I've paid off a small loan, and I found out that I also had an increase in a weekly small weekly retirement account. And I'm also getting $40 a week from the New Zealand government to get all of us through the winter. They just give everyone that money. So in the next 5 months, with no effort on her part, she is flowing an extra $1,600 into her bank account with no effort on her part. And she said, "I get unexpected income all the time." And it's true, she does. I had another woman contact me, and she said she and her husband had a verbal agreement with this woman who wanted them to do some work. I don't know what they do, it doesn't matter. But she said we didn't have a signed agreement, so we finally got in touch with her. Not only do we have a signed agreement now, the woman wants to pay us double what was agreed upon. I get unexpected income all the time. I'm so grateful for my income all the time. I have another woman. She and her husband have a nationwide business, and they travel a lot with a small crew, and they're in the telecommunications business. And because of this shutdown, they're doing things virtually. And she said yesterday, she said, "Oh my gosh, I realize I'm saving $1,000 a week on not eating every meal out. $4,000 a month, $48,000 a year. I get unexpected income all the time." Now, I'm telling you, there is something powerful in rewiring ourselves. And finally, this morning, I woke up to the most cool text from someone. And you'll remember her from, I talked about her the first 5 days of playing the money game. She said, "I don't normally do this kind of thing, and I'm not very materialistic." And so the first 5 days, she took all of her money and she, gave to charities, and she helped other people and gave money to housekeepers and stuff like that. But she said on day 6, she woke up and realized, she said, "We used to have a therapy dog, and he died. He got old. And I think I'm going to take this money out of my virtual bank account and buy a therapy dog." I was like, "Oh, cool, that's great." Now, this morning I woke up and she texted me and she said, "Guess what? I found my therapy dog." And she is in Spokane, Washington. She's a 5-month-old golden doodle therapy dog who's being trained. She is flying here on May the 1st. She said, "Playing the money game let me know that I do have money and I do have self-worth and I am allowed to get what I want. I get unexpected income all the time." So I'm just urging you to get into this flow. And I want you to examine what you've been holding on to about your beliefs around money. How does money make you feel? What were the messages that you got around money? Because I can tell you, I got some screwed up messages when I was a kid. I was the second oldest. Don't want to be older than I am, but I was the second oldest of six children. My dad was a master electrician. My mom was a housewife. We were very religious. And, we got all these screwy messages about, it's a sin to be rich, and rich people probably cheated to get there, and they're not probably very good people. They're not happy. God wants all your money. Don't question it. You're going to get your reward in the great by and by. You need to help other people, even to your own detriment. You need to give to other people. And so I got all of these messages about, it's not good to be rich, and, it's okay to struggle because, we're going to get rewarded in heaven. And I thought about that over the years. Now, the one good thing that I did get from them was this trust and belief in God, that God does provide. So, and I have seen that over and over and over again. So, and I got messages like, why can't you just be happy with what you have? There are a lot of people who don't have nearly what you have. My little rebellious mind would always say, yeah, well, there's a lot of people who have more than what I have too. But, that wasn't allowed because it was total obedience. I can remember going to some of these revivals and stuff, and these evangelists would get up. I mean, I can't even believe it now, but it's the truth. We heard it. They would get up there and they would berate people, and they would say, God wants to see your faith. God doesn't want that little bit of money that you brought that you're just going to just kind of pop in the offering basket. God wants to see your faith. God wants your medicine money. God wants your rent money. How faithful are you? And that is the message they're putting out. So you can imagine what kind of crazy ideas that I had around money and, my deservability and all of that. Fortunately, my parents both died young, and I'm not saying that's fortunate, but I was really popped out on my own, and I had to discover for myself what worked. And I began to see that my life was a direct result of my thoughts. A direct result of my thoughts. And I decided to change my thoughts. Whatsoever things you ask, believing, will be done unto you. Okay. Whether it's good or whether it's bad. So when I woke up this morning and I knew that I had $12,000 in my bank account, and I got to be honest with you, because of this little programming that kind of still runs underneath everything, my first thought was, well, how can I do something for other people and show my class what a good person I am? And then I paid attention to my feelings and said, how does that make me feel? That makes me feel awful. It makes me feel shitty. Oh, sorry, that's a spiritual term in Texas. I just felt awful. I felt this sinking feeling, this shame, this guilt. And I thought, no, I know enough that my feelings are pointing to hidden beliefs. What can I do with this $12,000 that would make me feel great? And I decided to lease a private jet, a Lear, with a pilot, and take my husband and go to the U.S. Virgin Islands for a week and stay in a place where we had a maid and a cook, and let people take care of us and be on the sun and on the sand and enjoying the sun and the water, get a sailboat, so that made me feel good. And I got to tell you, in full disclosure, in the 80s and 90s, I was married to a man, and he has since died, that was with a company, and they had a whole fleet of private jets. And we would have pilots, and they would wait for us, and they would fly us around, the United States, around the world. We would stay in resorts. We would be picked up by chauffeurs. We would have maids and cooks and stay in millionaires' houses. And I didn't try to get any of that. There was never a part of me that said, how can I find someone who will put me on a jet? I just opened myself up to the joyousness, and I decided to take that on. I decided to act the part. Joyous, happy, free. I decided to dress the part. I didn't dress like a like a homeless person. I wore nice clothes. And I was so appreciative of the help and the pilots and the whole experience. In fact, later, when he took a job in West Texas with a company, they had a private plane too. And asked me one day, he said, I've got to go into Dallas. Do you want to fly in and go shopping? I was like, sure. We went out to the airport and we got on. It was a King Air, which is still $1 million plane. But I strapped myself in, and the pilot fired it up, and I looked at my husband. And I said, "A turboprop?" I mean, it was a jet, and I said, "We're on a turboprop," and he went, "My, haven't we gotten uppity?" But it was so funny because it was like, okay, I have definitely changed how I see things. Now I'm living in a small town. I drive everywhere. I don't go anywhere fancy. I don't do anything, and I don't let this define me anymore. But I've had these experiences. So if you've never experienced private travel or going to some place where they're going to cook for you and unpack for you and all of that, if that's something you'd like, why not? You're not hurting anybody. And in fact, your joy is lifting up the whole world, because if I didn't have those joyful experiences, do you think I could honestly present this money game to you with authenticity? Because I know life can change, and I know it can change in a big, magnificent way. Please share this with other people. Share with me what your experiences are, because as we do this together, we are making it bigger and better and more fun. Look at that $12,000. Use it to be happy, to be joyous, to have the best possible experiences. Create new experiences, create new feelings, because that's what's opening up the whole world to you. And we need more experiences. We need more love. We need more joy. Think about poverty. When you think about being poor, it makes you feel awful. And you think about having more than enough and having the time and the energy and the money to do what you want, makes you feel great. So go for that great feeling. Sing your song. I get unexpected income all the time. I get unexpected income all the time. I'm so grateful for my income. I'm so grateful for my income. I'm so grateful for my income all the time. And I am so grateful for you. Thank you for playing the game. I'll see you tomorrow, because guess what, baby? $13,000 in that account. How fun is that? I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.